Hi, this lesson is about pronunciation part 2. Hola, esta lección es sobre pronunciación parte 2. Hi, welcome again to Spanish for London. I am Laura and today we will finish with a lesson about pronunciation. Remember that you have a lesson which is pronunciation part 1. This is part 2. Okay, you have studied vowels, consonants, but today we have to study C, which is C, and G, which is G. So we will study today how to pronounce C and G because these letters have different sounds. You will see that the pattern to pronounce C and G is basically the same. Look, we say ka, ko, ku, and we say ga, go, gu. We say se, si, and we say he, hi. And then we say ke, ki, and we say ge, gi. Why the pattern of these letters is so special and at the same time so similar? Remember that I told you in another lesson, but everything in linguistics has an explanation. Everything in all the languages, you have to know the reason. This is because in Latin, in the original language, which is the basis of Spanish, French, Italian, Romanian, Portuguese, in Latin, these letters were only one. That's why in Spanish we have two letters, but it's like a mirror. They have exactly the same behavior. Okay? So let's see how to pronounce C. We say ka, ko, ku. Por ejemplo, casa, house, cosa, thing, cuatro, four. Remember, do not write cuatro con Q. No es con Q, es con C. Cuatro. Then you will see why. Entonces, ka, ko, ku, casa, cosa, cuatro. In the same way, like a mirror. Ga, go, gu. Gato, gota, guante. Gato, cat. Gota, drop, raindrops. Gotas de lluvia. Guante, glove. Okay. Se, si. This could be pronounced as se, si or the, si. It depends on the region, it depends on the country. Remember, we have some different pronunciations because we speak Spanish in more than 20 countries, but all the pronunciations are absolutely correct. You only have to be consistent. If you pronounce like person from Madrid, you have to pronounce always in this way. If you pronounce like a person who was born in Colombia, you have to pronounce exactly in the same way and to be consistent. Okay. Se, si. We say cerebro, which is brain, or 100, which is 100. And we say hi, gente, people, or página, page. So please remember, we never say je, here. Never. We always, absolutely always pronounce he, hi. For example, the country, Argentina, is not Argentina, it's Argentina. The city in the States, Los Angeles, is Los Angeles. Okay. Now, when you want to say que, ki, you put Q, which is Q, Q, a mute U, una U muda, mute es muda, and E or Q, U, I. For example, que or quién. Okay. Que could be what or which. This is a tricky word and most of the students do not know when to say que and when to say cuál, which is the other word for what and which. So you have to see your lesson about interrogative pronouns. This is the name of the lesson where I explain when to say que, in which context, and how to make questions. Que, which is what or which, and quién, which is who. Okay? Remember, when you have U after Q is always mute. So I will write it here. This combination of letters, que, qui, this U is always, siempre, muda, mute. Never say que, qui. Never, ever. Es que, qui. Okay? Bien. Okay. And then here you have ge, gi. So when we put this combination of letters, G, U, E, or G, U, I, U is mute, as in the English word for guitar. We say guerra, which is war, or guitarra, which is guitar. So if you want to talk at some point about Spanish history and you have to talk about the Civil War, you will be talking about la guerra civil. Okay? And finally, in some words, we put two dots on top of the U. This is because in these particular cases, when you see the dots, the U has a sound. So, for example, the word for antiquity is antigüedad, and the word for penguin is pingüino. You see the difference? Guerra, guitarra. U is mute. La U es muda. Pero if I put the two dots on top of the U sounds antigüedad, pingüino. Okay? Muy bien. Now you know how to use la C, la G y la Q. Recuerden. Now, another question which is really tricky even for native students, they are all crazy about that, is that we have la letra G y la letra J. La letra J is super easy. You say ja, je, ji, jo, ju with this letter. Please never ja, je, ji, jo, ju. Never. It's ja, je, ji, jo, ju with J. But the question is that with the G, we always, not always, we also say G, ji, for gente, página, for example. So, G and G sound exactly the same. And he and he sound exactly the same. That's why it's a problem, as I said, even for native people, to know how to write properly a word. Because if I hear gente, which is people, I have to write G. But if I hear trip, which is un viaje, I have to write J. But the sound is the same. And the same with he. Página is page, con G. But jirafa in Spanish is not with G, it's with J. It's jirafa. So you have to know when to write G and when to write J. It could be a nightmare. Don't worry, it's a nightmare for a lot of people. I will teach you rules about endings of words and, of course, all the rules about how to write properly in Spanish, so you will know. Okay, last thing for today, which affects double letters. Look at this in red. We have in English many consonants that can be doubled in a word. For example, when I say effect, we write double F. When I say opposite, we write double P. When we say expression, we write double S. When we say attention, we write double T. And when we say immigrant, we write double M, etc. Now, consider that these words that I said, effect, opposite, expression, attention, immigrant, are very similar in Spanish. That's why I chose these examples. But look, when I say effect in Spanish, we write efecto, only one F, una F. Opposite, opuesto, una P. Expression, expresión, una S. Attention, atención, una T. Immigrant, inmigrante, una M. So apparently, I cannot double letters in the same way. So, would you like to remember or to know when you can double a consonant in Spanish? remember Caroline. You can double C-R-L-N. That's all. So if you're struggling when writing, you have to write a word and you are not sure about the double consonant, remember Caroline. Okay, if the word has a C, an R, an L, or an N, it could be doubled. But if the letter is another one, an F, P, S, T, M, you cannot, because they are not in Caroline. Easy, yeah? It's a mnemonic rule, you can use it, and you will be writing properly the double consonants in Spanish. And also remember that sometimes we have some words, for example, accent, which could be different in Spanish. I can double C because it's in Caroline. For example, for accident, we say accidente with double C, double C, double C. So it's possible to have double C in Spanish. What happens is that sometimes in a word like accent, we say acento. So the word itself does not have two C, but only one. Okay? So check your spelling. Okay. Now you know how to pronounce all the letters with all these rules that I explained in the 2 classes about pronunciation. You will be able to pronounce perfectly in Spanish, but you have to practice. Practice is all. So remember to practice with these rules in mind and read very brief sentences, only sentences, and try to check if you are pronouncing correctly each sound. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. See you next time. Este es el final de la lección. Nos vemos la próxima.